Regal images of Africa's coastal castles are as stunning as a vacation postcard.
I'm just delighted that we're able to reestablish that connection with our forefathers.
Sounds of the surf normally calm the emotions, but against the backdrop of past European royalty, the churning waters agitate feelings of anxiety.
We know something about the past and the present, and we can work toward the future.
Before the signs of black people for sale arrived in the New World, came the hindering symbols of shame. Precious metals were not the only commodities of value bartered and sold along Africa's Gold Coast.
It's really the story of mankind's inhumanity to mankind. So I think it has a message for everyone.
He was a just man, he was a good man, he was an honorable man.
Wounds are still tender from man's inhumanity that started in the 17th century. Still, hundreds of years later, haunting reminders of the slave trade influence modern-day heritage.
I'm glad to be here because once again, it just brings back a lot of that missing past that up until this point that you really didn't know a whole lot about or could really appreciate. You have to be here to appreciate what happened.
It is witnessed here in the way humans were caged like untamed animals, as they existed through the shackles of confinement, corralled in cells of segregation.
So the female slaves were held here. Maybe please enter the female dungeon and have a feel of the place.
And shoved through tight wall openings onto waiting ships at a place commonly referred to as the point of no return.
It makes you think how hard a time we've had, where we come from, and how appreciate we should be of what we have now and keep fighting, keep struggling to go forward.
A snapshot provides a documented moment for the Baker family on a day when many in this group carry heavy hearts.
It's very heart-wrenching to be here and to see the conditions that our people lived in, to see how other folks held them captured, and to give them an opportunity to live the life as they were used to living.
This castle along Africa's Gold Coast was the final holding and departure point for hundreds of thousands of slaves headed to the New World. Through the tours, tears, and tales comes closure and a sense of understanding from a painful past.
Harambe.
Closure comes in the Swahili word of togetherness.
Before, Jesse Owens won 4 gold medals at the Berlin Olympics.
Closure comes in calling to mind the efforts of fallen historical figures. Closure also comes as melodies of freedom ring behind the walls and into the tunnels that for too long knew captivity. The Negro National Anthem, Lift Every Voice and Sing, adds a new dimension to an afternoon of reflection. Several miles down the beach from Elmina Castle, more answers arrive on this stage during a day of soul searching.
Danger approaches from the sea. Danger approaches from the sea.
Here at Cape Coast Castle, the story is pretty much the same. Candles brighten the dungeon, helping visitors sort their emotions.
You will say that the crimes committed against our forefathers have never and ever been vain. Father, it is upon this note that I pray for peace in the black race.
The flickering flames also pay tribute to departed ancestors.
It's hard to stand on the very coast and look out over the water where so many African Americans originated, and know that our people, our forefathers, were sold at this very location, and not feel a lot of emotion. And hopefully we gather strength from that and know that despite that history, we survived and prospered, and the struggle continues.